Hey everybody, welcome back to the community stand-up for HTBox's AllReady project, an open source project built on ASP.NET Core. We just have been watching people fall off and join again for the last couple of minutes here, but I think everybody's online now and we're going to try and stay connected. A few updates for you this week, and we of course have some events coming up, so I'll just let Tony get us started.
Yep, thanks, James. So what we wanted to do today is talk a little bit about the focus for the October milestone, as we talked about last week. Our goal is to break this into an October, a November, and then drive to the December production release. And so we're prioritizing a couple of things we'll look at in October. We have those issues all tagged with the October milestone, and that's tagged inside the README as well, so you can quickly see it. We're going to be focusing in on how we import and bring in requests from Get a Smoke Alarm, as well as some of the mobile app from a volunteer point of view. And we're going to start on UI and UX. We definitely have a developer pretty application right now, so we need to work on the UI, the UX. When we move into November, we're going to shift the focus over to bugs and issues and just working out all the kinks with the rally and itinerary management side of things, and anything else that we see there. But again, we're really focusing on, how do we get the UI UX, get all the requests coming in and flowing through, the communications with individuals, be they requesters or volunteers, and just kind of stitching that together so we can kind of complete the loop in October, work on issues in November, and go live in December. So we'll talk a little bit today about some of the issues with the requests and such. And then also we've got a number of events, which I know James published up last week. We'll publish again this week coming up. So there's opportunities to contribute online, as well as in some in-person events at conferences.
Right on. Okay, thanks very much, Tony. Jim.
Sorry there, just unmuting. Glad to be back with you all. We've unfortunately been a little busy in the disaster world. We've been spending a lot of time in Louisiana, and then just this last 2 weeks, about a week and a half or so in Iowa, where they've had a lot of flooding in the Cedar Rapids area. So, but I think unless Hurricane Matthew, which is heading into the Gulf, or heading towards or heading across, I think, Jamaica right now. Unless that creates any problems, we should, at least I should be back and able to work with a lot more availability on the application. Be spending a lot more time, poking around GitHub and looking to help support in any way I can, clarify with any questions that you have, and try to kind of drive the project forward as much as I can. Working with Tony to get issues up, trying to do more in terms of giving you guys visuals so that you guys kind of have some direction to work with. So I expect I'll be able to be a lot more active in October as we move forward.
Awesome. Okay, thanks very much. And I'm sure in one way or another we're going to be, some of us are going to be syncing up between now and November at the various events and whatnot. So looking forward to catching up with everyone in person. I know we've got a couple viewers and everything right now. We've got friends who are joining us from across the ocean for an upcoming conference in the Netherlands. And so that's right, I think, right? Yeah, so over the Netherlands. So yeah, if you're looking to get connected and everything, we're going to be doing these from now until well into December, and we do have all the information up on the GitHub repo, so check the links after the show. We'll make sure that we get it updated with everything that's upcoming, and find a way for people to plug in. You can tweet us, add issues, comment on things, and if you want to get involved, just put your hand up on the issue and say, I'll work on this, and we'll assign it to you and make sure you get in there. We do ask that you, just so we're not over stepping on anyone's toes or anything like that, if you do want to get in something, just say I'd like to work on this. Can you please assign it to me? And we'll make sure that nobody else is working on it as well. So before you start working on your pull request, just let us know that you're taking an issue, and that should be awesome. And I will go next to someone who has done over 100 pull requests on their project. So go ahead, Steve.
Thanks, James. Yeah, so this past week, really, we've got a big piece of work in that we talked about last week, which was renaming a lot of the handlers, taking out the async keywording on there. So that's all merged in now. Everyone's
awesome.
Free to submit new pull requests without worrying about conflicts for that one. and then just tidying up some tests and things that I've been doing, and yeah, be jumping in on the new sort of October milestone stuff hopefully over the next couple of weeks. And then the other piece of work which we've just started is just getting some sort of common discussions onto the wiki. So we've got the discussion we had around the handling kind of covered there, linked back to the issue where we talked about that, if people want to understand the reasoning behind some of our decisions.
Yeah, that'll be a great place for us to keep track of any of those core decisions. I'd like us to maybe track down our discussions on the date time stuff and get that in as well. I think that's an important one to have there too. So, I guess maybe we should, we have done some work in importing requests. It's something that's going to be part of the focus. I know, Tony, for the October stuff to make sure we get it locked in or whatever, but maybe we can have after this session, after we stop the stand-up, we'll maybe have a little sidebar and talk quickly about what we need to do here to get requests into good shape or whatever, and then we'll make sure that we've got that shared out well, either via issues on the repo or on our stand-up next week as well.
Yep, and before we finish, I can point out a couple of things that are in the repository related to that for folks to reference.
Wonderful. Do you want to share out right now? And
sure, let's go for broke and try to share a screen and see if I get crashed out of Chrome. Can you see the repository?
We see it.
So a couple of milestones. I think last week we were pretty excited that we just gotten over 2,000 commits, and we're coming up on 2,100. So definitely continuing along with the momentum. We're up to 73 contributors now. A couple of quick updates. We've updated the README with some information about the upcoming release. As well, we've got info in here about solution architecture and such. And Digital Drummer Jay added in a great step through. One of the common things we see with new contributors or during a codeathon is, how do I get on top of Git? How do I work on contributing and getting everything ready and pull requests? And he goes through all of this and does it all through the command line, so that way you can see and know how all that works, as well as, if I scroll down to the bottom here, it's a nice lengthy tutorial, as you can see. There's a number of additional resources from folks on the call right now, like Dave and Steve, who talk about how to also do it through GitHub for Windows, GitHub Desktop, some of the more GUIs and stuff for those who don't want to play as much on the command line. Switching over, if you look into issues, we have the October milestone. That's our next coming up milestone. And what we did is, and Steve helped with this, and Jim, of course, we pulled together the issues that are related to the focus areas: communication around requesters and volunteers, importing what was open, some of the data integration issues, a couple other items. We have them all tagged with P1 through P3, highest to lowest priority. And so if you're looking for an issue to work on, you can jump in on any of these. I'm sure there'll be questions and we'll need some clarification, and that's what Jim and I will hop on real quickly. But definitely there's a good 20-some issues here, and there's probably sub-issues to be broken out. So there's a lot of work, and there's areas where people can jump in and they're big. And there's some areas that are a little bit smaller. I'm sorry, there's bigger issues you can jump in if you really want to get all over it, and then there's smaller ones like some UX, moving some buttons, some unit testing, other things that are great for getting your feet wet as well. So we've got a good set of issues for October. And then just last thing as a reminder, we've got October, we've got some issues into November, and then into December for the release. So even if somehow we magically get through all the October stuff early, I guarantee there'll be more work to do on the November and December timeframe as well. Again, it's all up in the repository. Just go in issues, and you can filter by milestone and see what the priorities and what's up next.
Awesome. Okay, thanks very much. Okay, well, thanks everyone again for popping in and joining us. We appreciate the comments, questions, contributions on GitHub. Please be sure to keep doing that as we go, and we will see everybody next week on the stand-up. Same time, same bat channel. Cheers.